Since starting media studies, I have learnt a wide range of technology and how to use Final Cut Pro, which is what we use for editing. In this, we have learnt how to develop our skills and learn to use tools that we wouldn't normally use on basic editing software. My first example of this would be using the Levels tool to change the lighting in our clips. We also learnt how to use the layering tool. This enabled us to put clips below the timeline, which enabled us to use the sound if we couldn't record our own diegetic sound. We also learned how to use the transform tool, which came in very handy if we needed to use something for the split screen, which we used when Lauren, our protagonist, was being bumped into the lockers. However, although not necessary for our final cut, we also learned how to record voiceovers, which has enabled me to produce evaluation questions and other videos. Coming back to our final cut, at the end we decided that we would like a transition, so we used the fade out. We thought this looked good because it gave us a good ending rather than just cutting and leaving it with the picture still in full view. From our prelim exercise, there has been a big difference in the amount of clips that we have produced and also the complexity of it. This is an example. When we had gathered all the clips for our final cut, we thought it was important to tag them so we could keep a track on all the clips so none would get lost. We did this by tagging them all with appropriate things like location or the character that was involved. I'm now going to show you a short clip from our final cut. To construct this clip, we used the zoom tool, the crop tool and the layering tool to give the well-balanced effect. While using the soundtrack, we also learned how to dip to fade in and fade out the music. We also used pre-existing sounds on Final Cut to enhance our work. With Final Cut aside, we also learned how to use LiveType, the software we use to create our idents. Now my ident will be shown. With Final Cut aside, we used GarageBand to create our soundtrack for our final cut. We thought this was really good because we could create sounds using a keyboard whilst also using the pre-existing sounds on there. So these are some of our tracks that we used to create this. Next I'm going to show you some of the clips that were in our final cut, the before and after the editing. We also used the latest technology to record and shoot our film. This is a good idea because we can just use one SD card and this reduces costs because there's no film involved, and also this links to postmodern digitisation. To keep up with our journey through media studies at AS, we used a blog. With this we learned how to use tags. This helps other people viewing our blog a good idea of what we've covered, and also this keeps it for ourselves very organised. We also use links lists for the same reasons, but we also thought that this looked good. This is a blank blog. This is what it looks like before we start writing on it. These are some of the blogs that we completed whilst doing media studies. We also changed the layout on our blog to make it more accessible to people that don't know what we've been doing. We added pictures from Google to make a really good background, to make ours stand out from the crowd. We also uploaded our work onto YouTube. This could be seen via the channel. We also used FileShare, which is a website that lets us embed Word documents onto our blog, as this can't be done normally.